Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services. Discover how to heal your mind, body, and soul in this amazing session with Farzin Mazinani, and he is an award-winning author, holistic wellness practitioner, and transformational alignment coach. He helps high achievers avoid burnout and succeed with joy and ease instead of hustle and grind so they can enjoy the journey. And his website is www.joyfulfix.com. And he's an expert in helping you overcome 3 types of stagnation, and he is an expert also in helping you to avoid burnout on the path to success. Now, the first question is, what's the secret to your success?
Thank you for having me in here, and it's exciting to be here, actually. So the secret to success, if I want to elaborate on that, I just have to tell you about a couple of breakouts or breakthroughs that I had in my life. So I'm just going to briefly go through 3 of those moments that I had. So we call those epiphany, something that changes the direction of your life. Your eyes are open and you realize something that is substantial, that changes you. So the first one that I experienced was when I was 24 years old. So I started my search actually since age 12. At that age, I was having whatever that I wanted in life, but I wasn't happy inside. So I was in search, in quest for finding joy and happiness. And it led me to go through books, because at that time we didn't have access to internet, we didn't have YouTube to research, and nothing like that was existing at the time. I'm talking about a long time ago. So I had access to books. So I started going through books and going through practicing different paths. And after 12 years of research, I had thousands of books in my personal library, but I wasn't happy. So I decided to do something different. I went to a room, closed the door. It was a windowless room. And I told myself, I'm going to stay in this room until I find the answer to joy and happiness. And that is a radical decision, but at the time I was so frustrated. I couldn't find it wherever I would go. So I decided to do that route. And then after a few days, it was actually close to 5 days. When I came out, I found out, because inside it's all darkness. You don't know if it's night or day or the time is passing. What day is that? But after about 5 days, when I came out with a realization. That realization is that joy and happiness that I was looking for is actually inside me. And what experience I had was that as I'm sitting in the darkness, I felt something is happening inside me. My body started to shake, and I started feeling the heat that was coming from inside. And all of a sudden, there was light, there was sound that was coming from inside me, not from outside. On the outside, everything was dark and everything was silent. But on the inside, I would hear the heavenly music and things that we cannot even describe, and all type of light. And it would give me that kind of joy that I would know that is what I was looking for. And that experience changed me basically, because I found that joy is different than happiness. Happiness needs a reason and has an opposite. opposite of happiness is being sad, but joy doesn't have any opposite, and it is inside. And when you have that source of joy, wherever you go, you can carry that with yourself. So you don't need any outer circumstances to make you happy because you have that inner joy. So that was the first epiphany that I had. The second one was when I injured my back at work. I immigrated to Canada 20 something years ago. And the first job that I had, I injured my back. My body was not ready for that kind of job. So that caused a lot of pain for me, which is called chronic pain. Chronic pain is something that is lasting more than 6 months. And I had that pain almost every week. I would get frozen shoulder. I would go to therapy and to release my shoulder to be able to operate normally during the week. But it was on a constant basis and nobody could help me, no specialist, nobody could see anything in the MRIs, and the medications wouldn't work. So I was carrying that pain for 15 years. And after 15 years, a friend of mine suggested to give me a help. And she said that I'm going to give you a couple of phone calls and we'll see how it goes. I was suspicious at first, of course. Those specialists couldn't help me. How can she help me? But what she did was she released the trapped emotions that I developed during the accident. So sometimes we have chronic pain. It is not physical because our cells are different after 6 months. All our cells in our body are different. So there should be something else behind all that. So that was the thing. So emotional charges that we carry, it is called trapped emotions. And she said, I see you can do the same thing for others. You have the talent. So that changed the direction of my life again. So I decided to come to the entrepreneurship in the area. So I started going through certifications and finding more information about healing and those kind of things. And at the same time, she did something else too. That person who helped me to release the emotional charges and the pain did something else too. She removed my heart wall. Heart wall is a chamber that we create around our heart to protect our heart. Sometimes we have the dilemma, we have some kind of relationship problems, or something comes up, we want to protect our heart. And what happens is that we create an energetic field around our heart. And based on the research of Dr. Bradley Nelson, more than 93% of people have heart wall. And that heart wall separates us from ourselves and others. It means that we are in a self-made cell or jail. We are living in a self-made cell. So it is like we are under attack. Our country is under attack. So we go to the bomb shelter. And now 10 years has passed from that attack, and we are still living in that bomb shelter. So the feeling is like that. So you cannot have the free exchange of information with yourself and others. There's barriers, there are blocks. So when she removed those the heart wall, my life was changed. Actually, I would have a better relationship, acceptance towards myself. When you cannot accept yourself, how can you expect others to accept you? When you cannot love yourself enough, we cannot accept others to just give us love, So it all starts from ourselves. So that was the second epiphany that I had in life. And the third one, I go briefly. I went skiing a couple of years ago and I broke my shoulder. I fell down, I broke my shoulder, and the surgeon said that I've only seen this kind of fracture on the scapula in car accidents. How could you manage to break the shoulder? And that was not a big accident, just the normal one. I just fell down and I break my shoulder, I knew something is in there for me, because I was developing that kind of mindset that life is my friend. Life is not hostile, it's friendly, and it's my best friend. If I receive some gift from life, it might be wrapped in an ugly paper, but inside is a gift. There is inside something valuable in it. So I knew in that experience something valuable is there. I couldn't move my left arm because of the fracture that I had, but I said that I still can move my right arm. So I started writing my book that was overdue for a long time. So I started writing, and something magical happened. As soon as I started, I noticed that I don't need to take those painkillers anymore, because I was tolerating a lot of pain and they couldn't cast it. It had to be healed by itself. And they just gave me those painkillers. But when I was writing, I wouldn't take the painkillers because I would forget about the pain. I was writing for 12 hours, 14 hours, and I knew that that was the definition of being in the zone, being in the flow state. I knew about it mentally, but I never had the direct experience. So after a couple of weeks, I produced a lot of writing. I sent it to the publisher, and they published the book in a very fast manner. So actually, the process of editing and formatting took longer than writing the book for me. So it was a fun experience, because that was the third epiphany that I had, that in order to be able to have holistic success, you need that kind of flow, being in the zone, being connected, not just going in one aspect of life. So that is the secret to success, I believe.
Thank you so much. It's so insightful. My question is, how can entrepreneurs heal their mind, body, and soul? Because I've personally experienced burnout. I had even migraines and sore throat and cough for 10 years. And then I experienced this technology of the emotion code, where a friend of mine helped me to release some of the trauma through trauma healing exercises. So my question is there anything that entrepreneurs can do by themselves in order to heal this trauma that is causing the trapped emotions and the burnout and chronic illness? Or do they have to work with a specialist like you? And is there anything at all they can do by themselves? So any practical steps, any little things, whether it's to relieve the anxiety, the burnout, the overwhelm, the like the trapped emotions, is there anything at all they can do themselves, or do they have to work with you?
So yeah, as an emotion code practitioner, I release those emotions. But there are some other ways for people who want to do that for themselves. So I'm gonna elaborate on that so people can use it in their daily life.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something called consciousness. Consciousness is like a light. So imagine that there's a dark room. In that dark room, everything is dark. All the images that is in the dark room, all the things, the objects, we cannot see them because it's dark. But we come and turn on the lights. What happens? We can see those. We can see those pictures or whatever it is. There's no darkness anymore. Darkness is all gone with the flip of a switch. All the darkness is gone. Darkness is the lack of light. Actually, it doesn't mean that it is. If I tell you that, give me a device that creates light, we can say it's a light bulb or the flashlight or torch or whatever. But if I tell you, give me a device that creates darkness, we don't have a device that creates darkness. Darkness is just the lack of light. So when there is darkness, what happens? Do you remember the old fashion of creating pictures? And so we had those cameras, the old cameras, and we would put the film in there, and it was for the old time. Some people even don't remember that, and some new generation haven't seen even those the old cameras that we had, that we put the film inside that was 24 or 36 pictures that we would take, and then we would take it to the dark room to develop those. And in the meanwhile, if the film was exposed to light, it would go bad. We couldn't have those pictures anymore. So consciousness is like that. When we are conscious about something, it doesn't exist anymore. So those pictures that we carry about ourselves, for example, the anxiety. Anxiety is an energy. Fear is an energy. Stress is an energy that is trapped in our body. If we be able to notice those, the first step is recognition, recognizing whatever that is happening. If we be able to notice those and take a note of those, it helps us to bring the light to it. When we bring the light to it, it cannot exist anymore. So what happens is the next step. So I have a 4-step process for people. The first step is recognizing. R stands for recognizing. And the second step is I, so integrating. It means that in order to fight with that, we're gonna go through the acceptance. Because if you fight with something, you're giving more energy to that thing, and it grows, it gets larger and larger. But if you accept it, you neutralize it. So in order to saying that I don't like that aspect of me, of being mad or being stressed or something like that, instead of that, I say that I accept that aspect. Whatever that is happening, but it is not me, because that is just a layer. Because if I am the consciousness above all other things, it means that I'm not my physical body. If I be my physical body, what happens? If I cut my hand, I'm going to be a different person, but I'm going to be still the same person. So I'm not my physical body. If I be my emotions, imagine that I get mad in one moment, I'm going to be a different person. No, I'm going to be the same person. I'm not my emotions. If I be my mental aspect, my thoughts, so what happens is that if I stop thinking, I shouldn't exist, but I still exist. So there is consciousness behind all those, and we are that consciousness. That is our real existence. So when I realize that, I see that that emotion that I'm carrying is just a stain on my clothes. It can be washed. So I don't associate myself with that. So I don't say that I'm angry. I say that I'm carrying that anger energy. They're different. And then I can accept that instead of rejecting it, because there is something to it. It is helping me to grow. It is helping me to get stronger, just like a weight in the gym that I lift to help me to build muscles. So that was the second step. So I is for integration. And the third part is surrender. We have to surrender it. Why? Because imagine that we go to the market and buy something. It comes in a box, an electric device or something like that. Something for the kitchen. You get it in the box. You bring it and you start using it, and you keep the box just in case that we want to pack it or something like that. And then we build that habit to keep those boxes. What happens is that after a while, that device that we were using in our kitchen is gone, but we still keep the box. We keep a lot of boxes that we don't have any use for them. And our house is full of those boxes. It fills the space. So we can't even move because we have all those boxes. So if we say that I keep the lesson, the good part of that experience, but I surrender, I release whatever that is left out that I don't use, then that is a good practice. We can release all the shells, all the things that we don't need. So we say that I keep the lesson, I release everything else. We tell that you can leave now. I don't need you anymore. I just used whatever I could, and the left out can be gone. So we release that. And then the fourth part is engaging with something as a replacement for whatever that we just released. So if it's anger, we replace it with tolerance. If it's a stress, we replace it with calmness. We replace and practice something that is the opposite form of whatever that we released. So I call that process RISE. R stands for recognition, recognize. I stands for integrate. S stands for surrender. And E stands for engage. So it comes as RISE. So if we remember to rise every time that we are facing those kind of things, we can solve that problem. We don't need to carry those.
Thank you. And how can we physically do that? Like, imagine you have the situation where you're always angry about something, and you have certain triggers. Let's say triggers in your family, triggers in your work colleagues that are not performing or performing in a way that you don't like, or I don't know, other naysayers or blocks, or clients that are nasty. So there are certain things that continuously trigger your burnout, your anxiety, your I don't know, it kind of like builds on that pain. So whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. So the question is like, how can you replace that pain when you have triggers that are continuing to augment the pain that you currently have?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we can start with journaling. Journaling means those repetitive patterns are important. Those are things that life is telling us that we have to pay attention to. So those triggers are important. Every time that we face those, we have to write them down because they are important. And after a while, you're exposing them to the light, and then we can work on them. And the second part is, I have in my book something called the 100% responsibility rule. It means that if I be able to take the full responsibility, everything starts to shift. Why? Because if I'm 99% responsible for something, but I say that 1% is up to others, what happens is if something goes wrong, I stick to that 1%. I say that others are to blame for that thing. So when something like that happens, it means that I don't have control to change it. I don't have any control to change it because I'm saying that others are doing that to me. So I'm putting the blames on others. It's like a victim consciousness. But if I say that I am 100% responsible for the things even that is caused by others. Some people give me a bad attitude. I say, I'm 100% responsible. What happens when I say I'm 100% responsible? It means that the ball is in my court. I am responsible for that. It means I have the full control to change it if I want. That is a big realization that you have the control to change it. And then what happens is that you take the full responsibility and you see everything that is outside is a reflection that if is a reflection of whatever that's happening inside. So we are just like a projector and the outside life is a screen. So if we go and change that screen, the projector is still producing that movie. It doesn't matter if the screen is there or not. But if we change the movie, if we change the self-image that we have for ourselves, everything starts to shift. So that way, it doesn't matter what the outer circumstance is. You can reflect it back to something inside with journaling and then write it down. And then it might be at first a little bit odd and we're not comfortable with it, but it's a very important process. I tell you an example. When we were kids, some other kids had that kind of attitude that do something to the teacher, so the teacher would go with suit and tie, and he was so serious, and the students didn't like that seriousness or harshness, and so they put a sticky note on the back of his suit that was saying, "I'm a fool." So the teacher was going around moving and everybody was laughing at him, but he didn't know that he had that sticker. He wasn't aware. And so we all carry those kind of stickers all over the place. Everybody else is seeing it. We cannot see that. But with the process of journaling, we can start seeing those stickers that we are carrying, because those are the vibrations that we are carrying. So we can see them. We journal them, write them down. Whenever they happen, we just write them down. And then we decide, I'm going to take the full responsibility for this. It means that I have full control on it. So I go through the right process and clean it up. And so the first one is recognition. I recognize this is the pattern that I'm facing in life. The third one, instead of rejecting and fighting with it and saying, no, I'm not this kind of person or something like that, I say, no, I accept it. It is something that happened to me and I'm carrying that kind of energy. It doesn't matter. There is something in it for me. And then the third part is that we release it. We say that I learned my lesson. I'm just going to let it go. I don't need it anymore. We have a conscious decision to make in that process. And then we replace it. We practice something that is the opposite side of that, whatever that we were experiencing before. So that way, we can just deal with those situations. Otherwise, otherwise, it's not going to be easy, because we are rejecting whatever people say to us. We take it personally and we just fight with them and stuff like that. So that is the human nature. But somehow with that consciousness approach, we can start to change the things.
That's such a great insight. Now, my question is that I found that in the past, one of the times when I was most in flow was actually when I was most joyful. And to become joyful, because you're an expert in the Joyfulfix program for mental wellness and physical wellness and emotional wellness. And I'm wondering whether you have any quick fix for people that want to experience joy quickly. In my case, I found that, for example, exercise, doing what I love, creating a happiness calendar, and doing little things that made me happy really transformed my life and have enabled me to go from a lot of suffering to experiencing more joy, manifesting more, manifesting great opportunities, feeling a lot better, feeling more excited about my life, and finding it easier to connect with people, and going from feeling like I was repelling people to attracting more people for my business. So do you have like a quick fix for people who want to experience joy?
Sure. So for me, joyfulness equals playfulness, like kids. They don't have concerns. They go to the playground and they use the slides and swings and they just laugh and they just enjoy the time that they have. Life can be like that. How? I'm just gonna give you a 3-step formula for that. In my book, I have a 10-step process, but I'm gonna summarize it in 3 steps so people can remember that better. So the 3-step starts from you want to achieve something. All of us, as we want to become a titan in our business or whatever that we have in life, we want to achieve. We have those gratefulness and achievement. So for that, we have some goals. We have something that we want to get to. So most people, what they do is, in order to achieve something, a big goal, you have to break it into smaller chunks. They call needle moving actions. Whatever that helps you to move towards that big goal that you have in life. So we break it down. That is a good process to break it down. But the problem starts when we want to start doing those tasks, the small tasks, because they're called tasks. And it means that there's a burden. Our subconscious mind is programmed to bring us to here, to this point. How? With our self-image, with our beliefs, with our repetitive patterns, with our emotions, with whatever that is on an automatic mode that we have. We are here right now. Now we want to change the direction. The subconscious mind says, no, I don't know if where you're going is safe or not. I'm not going to let you go that way. That's why we start things. And after a while, we feel that we cannot proceed because we're fighting with the subconscious mind. And it's not the fun process. So I'm going to give you the steps to be able to bring the subconscious mind on board so you can enjoy that playfulness, that happiness, and joy and stuff. So we're going to break the task, break the goal into the smaller tasks. But now there's a trick. We're going to change the name of those tasks to games. What happens is that when we change the label, everything changes. For example, if we have a problem, as long as we see it as a problem, we are focusing on the negative part of it. But we change the problem to challenge, then we are seeing the positive aspect of it, with just changing the name. In here, we're going to change the task to game. So we have those little games to play, and they help us to proceed towards whatever goal we have. So the first step is before you go to bed. It's very important time. And what we usually do before going to bed is we mentalize things that we did during the day. We are worried about whatever we want to do tomorrow. The fear comes, the stress comes, the blaming, the shame, every emotion that we have. We just impose all those into our subconscious mind because the subconscious mind is wide open before we go to sleep because we are in alpha state. And then we wake up in the morning tired out and we say that we had the rest. Why I'm so tired? Because we just programmed our subconscious mind to deal with a lot of stress and anxiety. So we're going to reverse that process in this 3-step. The first step is game plan. So we have those little games. We start thinking about those games that we want to play tomorrow. It can be 1 or 2 of those games. We think about those and it gives us a good feeling, and then we sleep. And our program is running. And when we wake up in the morning, before we do anything else, that is the second part of the process, which is warm up. Before we even open our eyes, we play that game in our mind. It's like a mental rehearsal. You just start playing, imagining that you are playing that game during the day and you're having fun. You are in the playground and you're having a lot of fun. And then at the end, you are the winner. You are on the podium celebrating, and you give that kind of chill feeling to yourself as your eyes are closed. So it is warm up. It's mental rehearsal. So that is the second part. The third part is just playing. During the day, you have to play because you programmed that into your subconscious mind 2 times. One time before the bed, before going to sleep. The second time right after you just wake up. Both those times, the guard is wide open for the subconscious mind. So you're bringing your subconscious on board with you. Otherwise, it's going to resist. So it's like a train. The train is going south, and I'm in the train. I decide to go north. I walk towards north in the train, but I'm going to end up south because the train is going south. But with this process, you're going the same direction as the train, which is your subconscious mind. And it's a fun 3-step process. Everybody can just practice. And if we practice it on a daily basis, what happens is that in no time, we're going to be in our destination because we are just doing those needle moving actions that are wrapped in the form of the play or game. So we're having fun as well. So that way you are enjoying the ride. You are enjoying the journey of success. Otherwise, what's going to happen? There are a lot of high achievers. So I don't want to stay in my comfort zone. I just want to get out of my comfort zone because I know that I'm wasting my life if I stay in my comfort zone. So I'm a high achiever. What choices I have? One of the choices is what everybody says, that you have to just fight. You have to go through hustle and grind. You have to do the things that is necessary, never look back, never give up. So we all have heard those kind of things, and we start fighting. But subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times stronger than conscious mind. So we have a big battle to win. And if we win the battle, we lose the war. It means that we are a wounded warrior. We are on top, but our health is at risk because of all the stress, the anxiety that we took along the way to build that business. Our relationship is at risk because we didn't spend enough time with our loved ones. Our happiness is at risk because we just thought that if we achieve that goal, we're going to be happy. But as the other way around, we have to be happy to be able to just move forward in life. And all those things are the side effects of narrow-minded success. So we have to have a holistic approach towards success, which I call alignment. That's what I do for people. I remove their inner blocks so they can move along the path of success with joy and ease.
Wow, that was such an insightful conversation. So for those of you listening, please follow Farzin Mazinani for more information about how you too can get yourself into alignment so you can find more joy, so you can overcome burnout, overwhelm, depression, anxiety, chronic pain, so much more. So much more is possible with the Joyful Fix. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.